questions. This is the Quick Bite Podcast.
Welcome to the Quick Bite Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Klinger. Today I have a special guest on, Helen Lau, the CEO and founder of ClearPath Solutions. Helen, it's great to see you.
So good to see you, Brian.
Thank you for making time to be with the Quick Bite Podcast. I'm so excited to talk to you. You've had an amazing career in this journey with ClearPath, and I know you lead a great team. Tell me a little bit about ClearPath and what you do.
We have been in business for almost 15 years, Brian. It'll be 15 years. It's April. We've been matching executives to brands, growth brands across the country in executive leadership positions. I have an incredible team all across the country. We've been remote before remote was cachet. So we started this business nearly 15 years ago.
That's incredible. I know from following you on LinkedIn that you are Helen on the move. How did you come up with that?
You know what? I was just traveling. I was on a plane every week and I thought, why not showcase some of these great brands that are out there, the different leadership within restaurants, and the community. So it literally started very organically. And certainly there's been a following.
I want to give you a quick shout out, some kudos I think I first found out about you during the pandemic, interestingly enough. And I was watching content that kept popping up in my feed about giving back to the restaurants and buying gift cards to help them make it, to put cash flow into their businesses because many of them had shuttered, they'd closed their doors, or they were trying to figure out how to move into off-premise delivery and curbside and things like that. And I remember wow, who is this that's just really out there advocating? And that's something that aligns with the Quick Bite crew because we advocate and spotlight restaurant brands and retailers in the industry doing really cool things and nonprofits. So that was what really drew me in to go, wow, who is this Helen Lau and what is she about? And the more I've gotten to know you and certainly become friends with you over the years, I just continue to be impressed with you and your team and the great work that you're doing to make a difference in the industry.
Oh, thank you so much for the shout out, Brian. But I am going to talk about it. It's one of the things I'll be speaking about.
Awesome. Well, let's dive in. You know the rules. Everybody gets the same 10 questions. We're going to get into the mind and the heartbeat of Helen Lau. So question number 1, Helen, is what's the best piece of business advice that you've ever received?
I think the best piece of advice is that if you believe in yourself, you should bet on yourself. There's been plenty of people with really great ideas, but actually so few that see it through all the way. So I've always loved that phrase. It's like, if you believe in yourself, you should bet on yourself.
Great. And what are the top 3 qualities that every leader, in your opinion, should have?
Yeah, Brian, I think it starts with a vision, right? And it's the ability to inspire other people to work towards a common goal. I know that that's absolutely true for what we do. But I think the 3 qualities that resonate with me are empathy, courage, and resilience. I mean, I feel like those are 3 that probably I hold near and dear to my heart.
Sure. And empathy really is about how you're caring for people and leading. Can you maybe share how that shows up in your journey as a CEO of this great company, ClearPath Solutions?
Yeah, I think it starts with my team. I mean, is understanding what drives every person. It's different. I mean, we're talking to hundreds of executives a week. So really taking the time to understand the position that they're currently in, because what we're trying to understand is, are they looking to make a next move? Are they happy where they're at? So I do think that, our entire team is extremely empathetic and trying to understand where other people are coming from. But I think I use my team as the best example that I'm always trying to understand what I can do for them. And they work so hard. We as a team work extremely hard, but really they're incredible people and trying to understand what motivates them.
And how does someone, in your opinion, become a leader? Our audience is very diverse. You have younger folks just starting out. They're looking for what is that first move if I want to get into leadership. Then you have folks that maybe been in their careers for a while and maybe looking for change and want to become that leader. I'm of the belief that everyone leads in some capacity, whether you're leading at home or leading in business or on a team. But in your opinion and your viewpoint, how does someone aspire to leadership?
Well, certainly it's a journey, right, Brian? It's not a destination. And I'd say to anyone at any level is that you should always be willing to keep learning and growing. I think that you should surround yourself with people that, I mean, this is at any age, at any point in life, is surrounding yourself with people that are smarter, that are better than you, that help continue to stretch and grow you as a leader.
You talked about when you have empathy for others, and that's kind of empathy is really a belief in others too, to have faith in them. What role does faith play in your business life?
Yeah, the team would tell you that I am a strong believer in karma and that what you put out there comes back to you in spades. So I always say work hard, always do the right thing, focus on what you can control, and you shouldn't spend time worrying about things that you can't.
Great. And who has had the greatest impact on you professionally and why?
Brian, I've been so fortunate to have so many positive influences along my professional career. However, I would say that my parents have certainly instilled the work ethic that's given me the gift of believing that anything is possible. We came from very humble beginnings, and I watched them work hard, their dedication and sacrifice to give my brother and I really endless opportunities.
What's one company that you admire and why?
I'd say from where I sit, so I really admire the Hillstone Restaurant Group. I think that they set the bar for consistency and standards. It's funny, but we have so many clients, whether they're in the QSR space or fine dining, they talk about wanting to be Hillstone like. And I think as a team, what we've determined is that what it means is really it's about consistent experience, food quality, and it's always a quality experience.
That's great. I'll have to check them out. Can you share a story about a time that you faced adversity in your journey, in your career path, and what did you learn from it?
Yeah, Brian, I would tell you it goes back a little bit to what you said before about step up to the table, which I would tell you it was March of 2020 when the world shut down and our business, like everyone else, came to a grinding halt. I remember I was receiving calls from executives panicked. And I remember exactly the day because it was Brooke's birthday. It was March 17th. And getting that phone call, I just remember nonstop calls from executives saying like, what's going to happen? And what I realized at that moment was really our business fell apart overnight. You know, it was 10 years into our journey and that nobody was going to be hiring executives. So I just remember feeling like a little bit helpless and saying, I told the team, look, we're going to have to furlough the team. You guys need to take care of your families and I'll do whatever I can. But I just remember thinking, how do we help these restaurant groups, especially these independents, who didn't have as much access to information? I mean, they were just trying to keep the lights on. So I remember the ice bucket challenge and I remember thinking, oh, I wonder like if the power of social will actually, actually works. So I just remember calling out a few people and creating the step up to the table, going out and purchasing gift cards. And it really did go viral. I mean, I've had people who are like, oh, I didn't know you were the person who started that. But really it was a really tough time for all the operators, all the executives, and really all the businesses that supported those restaurants. So it was extremely difficult. I ended up hiring every employee back by the fall of that year. So we were really, really proud of that. And our business is thriving now.
So, what did you learn? If there's a silver lining to, going through the pandemic, and you mentioned about step up to the table. That's actually how I found you on LinkedIn. I was so inspired by that work you did. But what was the silver lining moment for you? Have you thought and had an opportunity to reflect on coming through such an adverse time and your team and your company? What did you personally learn through that experience about yourself?
I think it really was less about myself. I mean, I think I was so worried about, the not even the industry, but the individuals that, the industry impacted. I mean, people were losing their jobs. I remember managers were packing to-go bags. And I mean, we were hearing all of these incredible stories. And really the lesson or maybe the silver lining is around resilience, right? That we are so resilient as a community, as people coming together. And every brand made it through. I mean, look, there were certainly casualties, but when you look at how the teams came together, really it was an incredible time. I mean, hopefully we don't see it again, but really a
Sure.
historical time for sure.
Yeah, it really was. And even in our industry, in the restaurant technology business, we saw innovation just flourish and people having to revamp entirely how they serve guests. And I think the industry up until the pandemic had kind of been a laggard and a little slow at adopting some of the off-prem and the digital. And boy, did they have to step on the gas to stay afloat, and they've continued that innovation. So that's great. I love that we're stronger than we may have realized we were and more resilient.
Absolutely.
So what's a fun fact about Helen Lau that maybe not everybody, maybe your inner circle knows? I'm not looking to break news here, but don't hold back if you want to break some news. Like, what's a fun fact about Helen Lau that maybe a lot of people don't know about?
It's very possible that people don't know that I'm a mom of 3 English bulldogs. And my kids make fun of me because they said for every child that leaves the house, that mom gets another dog. So, yes, I've got 3 beautiful English bulldogs, and people who knew me from the past would be surprised that I have any dogs, much less 3.
Oh, that's amazing. So we have something in common. We have had English bulldogs in my family for as long as I can remember. We came to Florida with 3 total dogs, 2 English and 1 Frenchie. My 2 English bulldogs passed away. Unfortunately, they were really old and they kind of I say that they came to Florida for their retirement and then went off into the sunset, but we took them both out to walk on the beach and see the ocean, put their toes in the water, their little paws, before they passed. But big English bulldog fan. And now we have a French bulldog, and his AKC registered name is Chick-fil-A Butter Biscuit. And we call him Biscuit. So we're massive fans of that. That's great. Massive fan. I can't wait to see pictures of your English bulldogs. Helen, how do you like to unwind? You're very busy. You travel constantly. How does Helen make time to unwind and reset and recharge?
Yeah. So there's never enough time, or it feels like there's never enough, but my day usually ends with dinner with my husband. And we kind of look at things in chunks of time, meaning that we plan trips. We love concerts. We travel for leisure too. It allows us to have something to look forward to. So the way that we look at it is, look, we're going to grind and work hard, heads down, but we're always going to have something to look forward to.
Yeah, that's amazing. What is your why, Helen? This is our final question, and I love this question because you're so passionate. You do so many great things, and your team is doing great things in helping the industry thrive. Helping executives find the perfect match for their personal careers and their growth, and the businesses that you match them to, and how they can grow. But what drives you? Why are you so passionate?
I feel so fortunate, Brian. I think my why is really creating opportunities for other people, providing opportunities for my team and their families, allowing other people to see what's possible. I think, as I think back about my lifetime, creating opportunities equals financial stability, which offers freedom. And so I know that that's my why. And I've even talked to my team about it before, that I might probably hold that at a very, very high level, maybe even more than them, but I think, we're all kind of a product of our environment. So when I reflect back and think about it, it's like, gosh, to see like growing up with such hardship, and be able to provide for so many today is really my why.
That's amazing, Helen. Thank you for everything that you do and how you advocate for the industry. For the audience, if you've never connected to Helen Lau, please connect to her on LinkedIn, follow her on all the social feeds, connect with her company if you need help for alignment of executives, or you're an executive out there in the restaurant industry looking for that perfect match or maybe that next career move. I would definitely encourage you to connect with Helen and her team at ClearPath Solutions. Helen, thank you again for being on the Quick Bite podcast.
I appreciate your friendship, Ryan. Thank you so much.
It is my pleasure. The Quick Bite Podcast is proud to shine a spotlight on Giving Kitchen, an incredible nonprofit serving the food service community in times of crisis. From unexpected medical emergencies to natural disasters, Giving Kitchen steps in when life takes an unexpected turn. To learn how you can help support those who serve us every day, visit givingkitchen.com. And while you're at it, subscribe to the Quick Bite Podcast, where leadership meets heart, and join us in making a difference, one episode at a time. Quick Bite Podcast, bite-sized conversations, big-time impact.